All right, everybody. I'll just wait for everyone to hop on. So hopefully everyone knows to refresh their feed. Let me just make sure everyone is able to hop on here. So I'm so excited to do this master discussion with you guys today. It's really been brewing for quite a while now. I'm gonna grab my laptop over here because I can hear it. I can hear it dinging away, and I'm sure people are trying to get on with us. So let me just let everyone know to refresh their feed. Okay. So hopefully everyone is able to refresh and hop on. Let me just post over here. Make sure. Here we go. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So I'll just cue people over as they pop on over there. I can't post to my page right now to let everyone know to pop over, but I guess they'll figure it out. All right, we'll go ahead and get started. So I'm so excited that you guys are here, and I'm so excited to share all of this with you today. Oh, there we go. I'm so excited to share what has been coming through recently. It's really, really powerful. And, you know, if you've worked with me before, if you've been with me before, if you've heard me speak before, I have a very different way of looking at the body. And I know that one of my missions here on this planet is to give people the correct perspective of their body and really create a whole new system, so to speak, of health care, of body resolution. So this isn't just your health. This is how your body expresses itself, right? Because it expresses itself through vitality, through balance, through homeostasis, through even an aesthetic appearance that's appealing to us or not appealing to us. And every single way that our body expresses is really a result of who we're being in our life. Okay, and I'm going to really dive deep and unpack all of this for you today. And my hope is that by the end of our session, our class, our time together, you'll really have this incredible reverence for yourself and this feeling like I can create anything in my body that I desire to create. It's not even that I need to create it. I just need to get myself the hell out of the way and stop blocking myself from being the person that I am meant to be and expressing myself the way I'm made to express, right? Because ultimately, all your body is a channel. That's it. Okay, and the way this came, I'm going to explain this exactly the way that it came through for me as I was driving across, I think I was in Arkansas, driving to Texas last week or the week before. Oh, and the wide open spaces, right? That's when I get my downloads, is when I'm in those wide open spaces and I'm just one with God, because that's what nature is. It's God, right? And then all of a sudden we expand and we can see a bigger picture. And what it looks like is this. Your body is a channel. Your body is just a channel. And divinity is flowing through you. Call it divinity, call it source, call it universe. I don't care what the hell you call it. But the reality is that it's there, okay? And it's not just a little bit, it's there in you fully. And it's channeling through you in a unique way. Remember those little red camera things where you put the round thing in and you click the thing and it spins it, and as the light comes through you can see a different picture? Well, imagine that divinity is the light coming through and you are the little dial with all the pictures on it, and the particular way that light shines through you is the picture that you see. Okay? You are a channel that divinity is flowing through. And it's made to, and depending on your filters and what you were born with, not your blocks, none of that, but like the divine, perfect blueprint that you were made to express in a very specific, unique way. Okay, you were made to be something on this planet. You were meant to walk in this body in a very unique, special way. And it is your beingness in your presence that is that uniqueness. Your beingness in your presence that is that uniqueness. Okay, and yes, that will have a particular aesthetic look. Yes, that will have, you will have tendencies and interest towards certain things, right? Some people it's cooking, some people it's horses, some people it's technology, some people it's money, some people it's their body, some people it's building and architecture. We will have tendencies towards certain things, and those are part of our blueprint, so to speak, right? What we're born with. And the more we can get out of the way of this expression, the more health the body is going to be able to express through you. Okay? There is a very unique essence within you. It is your medicine. It is your gift to the world. And it has nothing to do so much with your doing. You know, when we think of it like a purpose, we think of it as something I need to do. But it is your beingness, your unique beingness, being what you are and only the way that you can do that, which is beyond what your mind can even comprehend in this moment. Because you think that you know yourself, but you do not know yourself. There's no way that you know yourself right now, because knowing means it's something with the mind. The only way to know yourself is to feel yourself and to feel all that you are. And from that place is when we are inspired to go do things in the world, okay? We're going to backtrack a little bit. So your body is this channel, okay? And it has its highest expression, so to speak, its fullest potential, so to speak. And then we have the places and spaces where we're minimized, where we hold ourselves back, where we can't seem to get beyond a particular glass ceiling, where we repeat patterns and cycles. We live in our smallness. Okay? And so if you picture this channel of energy that wants to be bright and wants to be fully expressed, and fully expressed we can see in other people by the, you know, in the people who are living their best life, so to speak. They're living their fullest expression. Think about actors and actresses and performers and people who have this big energy. Right? They walk into a room and you're like, there are somebody. I don't know who they are, but there are somebody. Right? And that is just because they're fully expressed. Right? They could be a banker and be fully expressed. They could be a performer and be fully expressed. They could be a mom and still be fully expressed in all that they are. Okay? And so when we are acquiescing and surrendering to that flow of energy and doing what it is asking us to be, not to do, but to be, meaning holding and expressing all of your beauty, holding and expressing all of your sexuality, holding and expressing all of your wisdom, holding and expressing the fact that things are really easy for you, holding and expressing the fact that things work out for you a lot of the time, holding and expressing the fact that you love luxury, holding and expressing the fact that you want to have nice things and you want more than what most people want. Okay? Those are all energies that most of us are very, very much afraid of. Because those are the specific energies that we learned to judge or that we felt judged for at one time. Usually pre-memory, it's before the age of 7. But we learned, I can't be that. The thing is, it is your natural state. It is your natural state to want to voice, to want to be seen, to want to be heard, to want to feel beautiful, to want to feel free in this body, to want to feel like you love yourself and to feel like it's okay to love yourself, because in most families, it's safer to not like yourself than it is to have other people know that you like yourself. That's the twisted world that we live in. Okay? And so we learn to shut down that expression, shut down that expression, shut down that expression, shut down that expression, and contract around different parts of us. And it is the contraction that creates pain, that creates dysfunction, that creates distortion in our field, that creates imbalances, right? And imbalances in our heart, imbalances in the thyroid because of the throat, imbalances in the hypothalamus pituitary, imbalances in the gut, imbalances in the very physical body, in your hips and your legs, imbalances in the very structure of the bone, so then we build up things like cellulite and weight, imbalances in the chemistry of the body, and then we create hormonal problems and we can't detoxify properly. Okay, it is all because of this contraction that happens. Contraction happens because it's fear, like, can't do that, can't be that, I'm going to be judged for that, I'm going to get in trouble for that, I'm going to get hurt for that. Okay? And so if we change the language of health from disease and diagnosis, and you have this problem, and you have this problem, when we're just naming off problems, we feel completely helpless. We could feel completely helpless because we think, oh my God, this is just what my body's doing and I have no control. And there's nothing further from the truth. There's nothing further than the truth. I know because I can see it with my own eyes, my own inner knowing. The truth is that the dis-ease, the pain, the dysfunction, the weight, the cycles we go through with our body are all just a symptom of contraction. The body is doing two things only ever. It's expanded, it's expressed, it's free, it's liberated. You're being all of you, and you're not worrying about triggering people or pissing people off. Or you're contracting. You're getting small. You're shutting down. You're not letting yourself have what you want. You're not letting yourself admit what you want. You're people pleasing. You're shutting yourself down. And that is what creates dysfunction in the body. And I don't care, again, if it's something aesthetic with the body or if it's something internal. That is the only thing that's happening. And what that means is that you have complete control. You have complete control over it. What was made very, 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 very clear to me, was that all of your life is revolving around who you are letting yourself be. Who you're letting yourself be. Because who we're letting ourselves be determines the way that we're living our life. It also determines the way that we're taking care of ourselves. It also determines what level of results, so to speak, we'll let ourselves get with the efforts that we do put in. Okay, because even if you haven't noticed, you can do all the right things for your body. You can go on the diets, you can take all the supplements, you can do whatever. But usually you'll only get to a certain level of resolution or feel good. And either you can't get past that, you'll plateau, or you'll just cycle right on back to where you started. Okay? Has anyone done that? Anyone been there? And that's just because we reach that upper limit of how good we're willing to let ourselves feel. How much we're letting ourselves be. And this stuff is so, so unconscious. And have you ever noticed, if you look at pictures of people, like famous people, you'll see pictures in magazines and things of before they were famous and then after they got famous. And there's a difference in the way that they look. Have some of them had like adjustments and things to their face? Sure. But it's not like everyone had this huge like $80,000 plastic surgery job, right? There's a difference because they're holding them, they're in themselves differently. Their presence is different. They're willing to be seen. They're not holding themselves back. They're not shielding themselves. They're not being afraid. They're not contracting in their body. They're not afraid to have it all. Okay? And having it all is it's your nature. And we were raised in situations where that was judged, right, as being shameful. No, you can't want that because that makes you a bad person. That's bullshit. That is bullshit. You're doing nobody any favor by not having it all. Okay, there's a version of you inside of you that I can see in you, because that's the part of the backside of my vision, is I can see the real you, and I can see your true potential. And I can see you as if you were somebody famous. I can see like where you are embodying yourself and where you need to step into yourself. And the thing is, when we let ourselves have that conversation and step into those places and spaces, our physical shit begins to resolve itself. We start to treat ourselves differently. We act towards ourselves differently. We feed ourselves better. We stop doing the things that are holding ourselves back. We give ourselves what we want. I just posted this earlier. We don't get in life what we want. We get what we tolerate. Yeah, that's a big one. We get what we tolerate. And so when I say that to you, what's the first thing that comes to mind that you're tolerating with yourself? With your own BS. And not just with your own BS, but with conditions in your life. What are you tolerating? Because it is your toleration of that that's perpetuating a cycle. And perpetuating an old identity. Okay? Perpetuating an old identity. Now, we are in an evolution of women right now where we're really being called to step into our power. And power is not a masculine energy. It's a feminine energy. And what does it mean to be a powerful woman? What it means that you can lead yourself. Right? You can be in all of your beingness. You can be in all of your beingness, because for a long time, hundreds and maybe thousands of years, women were more of a subservient energy. They were a tolerator. They were an accommodator. Let me sacrifice myself, my life, my dreams, and the things I want so that I can be a good person. So that I can be the wife I think I'm supposed to be, right? All fitting into this old paradigm so I can be appropriate, so I can be proper. And your energy is so friggin' sick and tired of those chains, in those binds, in those boxes. The boxes will strangle your energy out, okay? Dysfunction in the body is your body's way of saying, hey, you are way off track with yourself. You are tolerating something that your soul does not want to tolerate. Okay, that's what the body stuff is. You're tolerating something that your soul does not want to tolerate. And a lot of it's unconscious until we start to have these conversations with ourselves. Okay, so we start to have these conversations with ourselves. Now, we backtrack a little bit and we talk about this language of the body. Okay, so the Western model, allopathic medicine, so to speak, is all about the body is parts and pieces, it has nothing to do with the mind. Let's just use chemical intervention to try to force it to do something that it doesn't want to do, right? Or that we think it's supposed to do. It's really messed up, it's really backwards, it's really toxic, and it doesn't honor you. It does not honor you, and it doesn't honor the intelligence of your body. Now, that language is, it's already small. It's already feels like a struggle in there. And it feels like a struggle because it's not truth, right? It's so wrong. It's so wrong on so many levels, and it's never going to work on so many levels, okay? So we can just basically throw that aside because your body has its own agenda. Your soul, your body are all one. Your soul, your heart, your purpose, your beingness, it's all one thing. And it only has one agenda. And that one agenda is to express itself fully to its full potential. Just like a tree. That tree's purpose, agenda is to grow and grow and grow and grow and grow and grow and grow until it can't grow anymore. It's going to enjoy itself in its fullest potential with its beautiful leaves and its red leaves and its no leaves and the new leaves. And it will fully express itself as that again and again and again and again and again till the day that it doesn't. Okay? Your body has the same agenda. It has the same agenda. And so if we change the language that we speak about the body in from disease and something wrong to contraction versus expansion, to self-acceptance versus self-rejection, to self-acceptance, to love versus betrayal, to expansion versus fear, okay? We can just use these words as diagnostic principles to understand the body. Okay, so when someone comes to me and they're like, this digestion thing, I just can't get this, I can't get it under control, and I was diagnosed with like SIBO and all this, blah, 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 all this stuff. But we can look at the belly, we can look at everything surrounding it, and we can say, well, you know what, you just have rejection happening. And fear. Rejection of your power and fear of your power. That's all that's happening. Okay, so if we can resolve that, physiology will resolve on its own. Okay? Physiology will resolve on its own. If someone comes to me and they say, I just can't seem to lose weight, and I don't understand, and I've done everything, and the doctors just say, well, it's just my hormones, and that's what's up, and I blah, 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 blah. And we look at the body, we scan the body, and we might say, well, you know what? You are actually afraid to be the person that you would be if you were feeling amazing. Not only are you afraid to be that, but you're afraid of the things that you would probably do if you had that newfound freedom. Because you would make changes that you right now is too afraid to make. And that's all that's actually happening. So when we resolve that, the weight will resolve itself. Okay? The mind, the body are one. Where the mind goes, the body's going to follow. Where the mind goes, the body's going to follow. Okay? Most of the stuff is unconscious. But we can really keep it very, very simple. Because the body's job is not to work as some tyrant against you. The body's job is just to let you know when you are off track with yourself, when you're blocking yourself from fully expressing yourself, when you're shutting down part of you. Your body is made to create some sort of pain or dysfunction as your GPS to let you know you're blocking yourself. You're tolerating an old story. You're living in an old identity. You're not allowing yourself to surrender to the bigger version of you. That is all that's happening. And when we start to use that language as a language of healthcare, pharmaceuticals company doesn't stand a chance. But also, we'll have so many people on the planet doing the inner work and taking responsibility for themselves and becoming very powerful and stepping into their true potential. Because your greatest gift is when you are in your fullest potential. Because whatever you can embody is what you're giving other people permission to embody. So when you let yourself have exactly what you want, and you let go of the fear of being judged as greedy or selfish or any of that BS, you give other people permission too to come out of lack mentality and give themselves what they want to. Okay? When you give yourself permission to hold your feminine beauty, that inner radiance, when you give yourself permission to be seen with that radiance rather than being afraid of it, be seen with it, you give other people permission to do the same. Okay? And your body will heal itself as you move out of contraction around your own expression. Okay? So if you've been following the emails that I've been sending this week, they were all about your self-image, how you see yourself, how you feel yourself, and your body. Okay? They're all connected. A lot of times we think especially when we've been in a body cycle for a long time, or something happening with our health or our body that makes us just feel unattractive, because that's what body stuff does, right? It pulls us back. It makes us hide ourselves a little bit. Even if we think that it doesn't, it does, because it stops us from doing certain things. We put this kind of invisible shield over us so that we're not really seen, or we're only seen by the people we feel safe to be seen by. All right? When something happens when we're experiencing something in our body that makes us feel less than beautiful, we think, well, it's the thing that's making me feel less than beautiful, when it's not true. The less than beautiful was already a frequency happening in your body. The shame was already there. The fear of being exposed, or the fear of being seen as the true radiant you, that was already there. And then your body manifested a condition to match what you were already feeling. So people ask, well, what came first? Was it the feeling or the condition? Most of the time it was the feeling. And epigenetics now kind of shows us how those things manifest like that. The feeling was there first, and then we manifest something in the body. I'll give you an example of that. So I was having, for a long time, I had this hormonal imbalance. Or I had high testosterone, higher androgens. And so, it was great for my muscles because I was very muscular, which I still am. But it just created these weird feelings where I didn't feel beautiful. And I felt ugly. And I didn't want anyone to see me. I remember walking around with my face down like this all the time. I didn't want anyone to see me. I didn't want my partner to see me. At nighttime, I shut those lights down real friggin' fast. I just didn't, I felt so uncomfortable in my body, and it was debilitating. Like, I didn't want to, I'd be at the beach and I didn't even want to get up and enjoy a walk down the beach. So I'm like, I don't want, I feel so in my own skin, even though I was, I don't know, maybe 110 pounds, which is, that's less than I weigh now. I was tiny. I still felt like, yeah, I don't want anyone to see me. And it was an awful, stifling feeling. It was awful. It was awful. Just stifling, stuck. It is not a place where you want to live. But then when I actually backtracked, and I thought, well, it's this thing, and if I can just fix this thing, I can just figure this out, and I can just stay on this supplement routine that will keep everything in check, then I can be happy, then I'll feel okay. Good luck with that. Has anyone ever been in a cycle like that? If I just take all these things, keep all these symptoms in check, and then I'll maybe start to feel okay. It doesn't work like that. You know why? Because the feeling, the block, the shame around my feminine energy was there before the hormones even kicked on, before I even went through puberty. That feeling was there, that fear around being too much, being too beautiful, being too feminine, right? For a bunch of different reasons. That was just not an energy that I was comfortable holding in my body and expressing in my body. And so I created a condition that made sure that I didn't. And that reflected that protected me from doing that or from being that, right? I was telling my cells, estrogen, bad, and I was changing the chemistry, literally changing the chemistry in my body, because we know now that your thoughts change the chemistry of your body. And that's when we get those weird imbalances, the endocrine types of imbalances, okay? But when we can track all this stuff back, we can really not only step into our full potential and be the women that we so deeply desire to be, and I'll say men too, because it's the same thing, but I think women are more tuned into it, or more willing to admit that they want to feel good in their body. We want to feel good. We want to feel beautiful. We want to feel fully expressed. Of course we do. And if we say that we don't, I'm going to wave the bullshit flag and say that's not true, because it is your nature to want to feel your beautiful self fully expressed. That inner radiance gets to shine out. Okay? That is what you're here for. That is part of health. That is part of vitality. We can look at someone and say, oh my God, they're beautiful. They're glowing. They're radiant. They're vital. Right? It has nothing to do with their hair color. It has nothing to do with the shape of their face or their nose or their size. It has nothing to do with that. It is an inner radiance that comes through. Because you can tell when somebody likes themselves. You can tell when someone loves themselves, right? And that triggers the shit out of people sometimes. But in this world of stepping into your fullest potential, you've got to be willing to let people walk out of your life. Okay? Otherwise, you're saying, you know what? I will stay small and shut myself down so that you like me. I don't play that game. Not in my house. This is the house of Kelly, and that is the house of you. And in this house, I keep this boundary where I get to be my fullest me and take all of those traits that I felt judged for, and I get to turn those suckers up and be all of it. Why wouldn't I, right? And I have to be willing to, and we have to be willing to allow people to decide they don't want to be part of our life anymore if we're fully expressed. And it's a choice that we get to make. Otherwise, we'll keep trying to fix ourselves, but deep down, unconsciously, we're too afraid to leave what we know. We believe all the people we love will leave us. Maybe some of them will, but it's a choice that we make. And if it's a choice that you make to stay small, that's totally fine. At least you're making it consciously. And that's all I care about. If it's going to be a decision, let it be conscious, rather than wasting all of your energy trying to fix something that deep down you don't even want to fix. Okay? All right. Let's keep going. So I made myself notes. Otherwise, I will talk for hours about this stuff. So I know you guys are, you all have different things, different reasons why you came onto this class today. Okay? And what I want to tell everybody, first of all, is this. Whatever condition in your body you're dealing with right now, whether it's a health condition, something aesthetic, or something like aging, seeing yourself change, okay? Whatever gives you this little in your stomach, I want to tell you this about it. The only reason why you have an in your stomach about it is because there's a part of you that believes there's nothing that you can do about it. Part of you believes, well, this is just the way it is. And part of you is believing some other story about the thing. It would be too hard to fix it. It would take too much work. It would take too much energy. I don't have the time. I don't have the money. I just don't have the answers. Right? Or this is just what happens to people. When we talk about aging, this is just what happens to people as they get old. I have to wave the bullshit flag on all of that because I know better. For a fact, I know better. Your energy, if you would let it be, if you would just picture yourself right now standing in the middle of a huge landscape. If you've ever been out to New Mexico or Montana, any of the plain states, the Midwest, any of it, where there's just, you stand there and there's nothing but fields and maybe mountains way off in the distance or trees way off in the distance. But picture yourself in this huge, wide open landscape. And start to feel yourself. Go ahead, I'll wait. Start to feel your expansion. Start to feel that you are that landscape. You are nature, nature is you. It is all one. Nature is God, creator, universe, whatever you want to call it. It is creation itself. And that same creation is your body. And let your energy expand as big as the landscape. Part your teeth, part your lips. Release any tension you have in your chest. Let yourself expand again. Let yourself breathe. Let yourself expand. Let yourself breathe. Let yourself expand. And just ask Creator to show you what it feels like to expand into your natural state, into your fullest expression. The moment you ask yourself that question, what does it feel like to expand into my natural state? Your body will do it. Your body will respond. Your mind is a servant to you. Let your heart soften again. Let yourself breathe. Let yourself meet that massive open landscape. Let yourself even merge with it. And let yourself feel what it feels like as you merge with it to have no blocks. And as you just sit here in this expansion, letting your body have a very palpable feeling, a very palpable memory of who you actually are and what your energy actually is. As your nervous system feels this, it feeds the brain with new information, like, this is who I am. This is my natural state. Expansion is my natural state. And feel yourself expand even more. Every bone, every tissue, feel the space between the cells expanding. And let yourself breathe. And then merge again with that landscape, the widest, openest landscape you can find. And what would it feel like to feel even more freedom? And let yourself feel even more freedom, even more space, even more expansion, even more oneness with all that is. And take a breath from your root right up to your heart. And exhale out the top of your head. And just know that your energy is actually bigger than any problem. Not just problem in your life, but your energy is bigger than any hang up in your body, in your health. It's bigger than any state of decline, because a decline is just a blocking of this natural expansion. It's where you've stopped pulling this energy through your body consciously. And start to feel that this landscape is radiating love, like deep reverence for you. Like you are something holy. And let yourself breathe it in. Let yourself feel it. The love from this landscape that sees you and loves you for everything that you are. And everything that you don't even know that you are. And feel that deep love. Breathe it into your body, soften and let yourself receive it. That reverence that this landscape has for you. And feel the energetics that this landscape wants to activate in you, wants to remind you of. Feel it start to activate different parts of your being, of your heart. And if your higher self right now could drop you down a message, what would that message be? And just breathe that in as truth, as reality. Because that is the only reality that there is. Everything else is an illusion. Now, from this expanded state, see a version of yourself, you as you are, just off to the side somewhere, or before you, or just somewhere in the picture. And just by looking and sensing your body, looking at your own self, start to see what's up with you. What are you holding? Where are you contracted? What are you tolerating that's creating this state? who would you have to be to not tolerate that any longer? What boundary would you have to put in place for yourself or for other people? So you could be the woman that doesn't tolerate that any longer. And just feel what it feels like in your body to put that boundary in place. There might be tension and resistance. At the same time, there might be this feeling of yes, yes. You feel yourself expand a bit more. Just breathe in and send gratitude for whatever awareness you gleaned. Because these are the things blocking our body and blocking our lives. It's all about who we are letting ourselves be, what space and energy we're allowing ourselves to hold for ourselves. We've got to have this, as Tanya Lee says, this red velvet rope around ourselves so that we can do for ourselves and be who we desire to be. And we don't tolerate anyone letting us feel like we're judged for who we desire to be, or how much attention we desire to pay to ourselves, or how good we desire to have it. We don't tolerate ourselves feeling judged for that. And whatever else you saw. And so if I asked you right now, if you have a goal with your body, whether it's a way you want to feel or something very specific that you want to resolve, what do you think is standing in your way? What do you think is standing in your way? What is your answer? What do you think is stopping you? If you're honest with yourself, what's stopping you? If we ask the right questions, we get the answers, we get the information. And it's usually never what we think it is. Right? It's related to who we're letting ourselves be and how we're allowing ourselves to live our lives. How we're allowing ourselves to live our lives. This physical vessel is everything. It is everything because it contains the expression of who you are. And so there is no separation between the way that we live our life and our body. There's no separation between money and our body. There's no separation between our relationships and our body. There's no separation between our communication, even our ability to get in touch with our own emotion and be intimate with ourselves and our body. There's no separation between any of that. And so if we ask certain questions and then we understand that the resolution of our health problems, our body issues, and even our life issues is simply a matter of creating more space, then the healing process and the personal evolution process and our self-image all begins to resolve itself. It all begins to cycle up into its highest potential, into its highest expression. When we talk about the physical body, we need to create space in the physical body by doing physical things, right? Like stretching, doing block work, opening up the soft tissue, opening up the diaphragm, opening up, doing a detox to get out the gunk and open more space for that light to flow through. That is vitality, that is radiance. Your own essence combined with source energy, that's what creates radiance and vitality and passion for life and excitement for life and expansion. It keeps you tapped into your desires. And we create space for that in the physical body, but also we create space for that in our life by building those boundaries out and getting in alignment with the way that we desire to live our lives. Living our life in a way that supports us. Okay, not that supports your entire family, not that supports your entire community, but supports you first. It's only when you're in that higher potential that you are going to be any good for anybody. Okay, we've got to build a life in a daily practice that supports us in that journey of opening ourselves up and owning those boundaries and backing those boundaries up. Okay, you've got to show up for yourself. When you make a decision, when you make a declaration, when you put something in place, you've got to show up for yourself. You've got to show up for yourself and back that up with action. Whether it's saying yes to something or saying no to something. And if there's something you're no longer going to tolerate, you need to back yourself up. That is how you lead yourself. That is how you change everything. That is how you heal your body, all the things. Now, depending on what you've got going on with yourself, with your health, or changing again something aesthetically with your body, or correcting some other condition, there's always a combination of things, right? There's a combination of lifestyle, how you treat yourself, what your modalities you're doing for your body, and also what you're doing with your energetics, how you're holding your space. Okay, but how you're holding your space is 80% of it. 80% of it, and the other stuff is the other 20%. All right. So let's just take a breath into all of that. I'm going to make sure I said everything to you. So what I want to begin to close with is this. You have a decision to live a very different kind of life. You have a choice to live a very different kind of life. A life that most people aren't brave enough to live, because it would require being very different. It would require putting yourself first. It would require really getting to know yourself. It would require you creating bigger boundaries and designing your life and stepping into the person you desire to be and being willing to let go of what doesn't support that. And you do that for you. You do that for you. Okay, because there are things that you want in this life, and there is something so unique that you are that wants to come out. Your true essence, your true vitalness, your true vital essence. There's something so unique inside you that wants to be seen, that will not only heal you, but it is your medicine to the world, and is your medicine just from your beingness. But that's going to require you to be a different type of person. Not that's untrue to you, but it's stepping into your fuller potential. And for most of us, yeah, it can feel a little scary, but at the same time, it feels like, oh, finally I can have some frigging breathing room. I can have some space, right? Because we want freedom. And all that freedom is holding bigger boundaries and really living a life that's congruent with who you are and what you want for you. Okay, that is what creates freedom. That's what creates space. That's what creates space for more light to come into the body. It brings us out of contraction. So longevity and youthfulness and all the things are the result of that. Okay, a streamlined body, just feeling so good about you, actually liking yourself and not being ashamed to say, yeah, I love myself, actually. If it triggers you, sorry, too bad, so sad. I'm not going to step outside myself. I'm not going to jump ship on myself because it makes you uncomfortable. Okay? Those are the boundaries we get to have. So I want, if you're complete for today, thank you for coming on. But I have a couple things that I've created for you. If you enjoy this work and you want to explore this work more deeply. Okay. So I'm going to talk about those things now. Because in this world, I know, because I've done this with support and I've done it without support, right? And I know that support is useful, especially when I'm stepping into new territory, right? It's helpful to have a map. So the first thing is the consult. Okay, I call this the consult. And what this is it's you and I meet in person or on Zoom if you're not local. And I take a zoom of your body. I take a scan of your body. I look at you. I feel your energy. And I feel where you're holding yourself back specifically. Okay, because let me add this about feeling beautiful. And this isn't just like an aesthetic type of beauty. This is like you just feeling beautiful and radiant. What happens is we go through life and things happen to us that make us feel less than beautiful. Someone crosses one of our boundaries, we get yelled at, we get betrayed, we get made fun of, we get scoffed at. And most of this stuff happens from our parents and our siblings. We feel judged, right? Something happens that makes us feel less than beautiful, less than love, right? Less than accepted and less than celebrated. And those are the places where we contract. It's like, oh, because your system only knows itself to be love. Divinity is the frequency of love. We can actually measure it, and your system is love. You came in here as a baby knowing yourself to be love, knowing yourself to be loved and expecting to be adored, expecting to be celebrated, expecting to be taken care of. Right? And then something happens, we talk too loud, we cry too long, we want too much, we want what we want, and we get yelled at, and then we feel disconnected from love, and that's what's caused the contractions in our energy body. And so ultimately, when we're moving out of contraction, we're connecting back to the truth of love, to a way that our nervous system can feel. Because your brain, I can tell you that you're love, but that's not, I could tell you that all day, and it's not going to change you. It's when you feel it in your system, because your energy shifts, that your whole system cycles up, because that disconnect was reconnected, the short circuit was healed. Okay, so you actually feel yourself as love. It's undeniable, it's unquestionable. And you love yourself just like you did when you were a baby. So what the consult is we look at, I take a scan of you, of all your energy, your thoughts, where you're contracted in your body, and then I map out for you, like, what do you actually need to step into in order to resolve this, okay? So this can be, I call it a free-for-all, or maybe you have something specific that you're working on, and I'll take a look at that and see where you're contracted that is creating that thing for you. Okay, whether it's something very physical in your body, something because sometimes it can be where we're missing a nutrient, but that's not the only reason. Okay, there are other things at play, and for whatever reason I can tune into that. That's my special gift that I was given so that I could come here and do this work. Okay, and we're all suited up with exactly the techniques and skills that we need to do the work that we're meant to do. So the consult is your map of seeing, like, oh, this is why. This is what I need to step into my mind. This is the boundary that I need to have. This is what I need to own. all those things. Okay, so those consults are usually $5.95, but for you guys, because you showed up today, those are offered for $3.95. Okay, and that's for today and tomorrow only, and then they're going to go back up to their full price. All right. The second thing is, so the next tier up would be, I have a group program started. So if you're like, I want to have more of this conversation, I like the way this energy feels when I'm in it, I like the way the space it gives me to be in this container and have this conversation and have somebody see me and have someone talk to me the way that I want to be talked to, and I want to explore this more deeply. The program that's coming up is called A Wild Thing of Beauty, and that starts the third week in October, which is next week. And if you want the details on that, I can send you the details on that. But basically, it's a 4-module coaching program. It's done in a group. It's done through Zoom. You can listen to the replays. But for each module, we go through a class. And then you'll have a worksheet where you'll start to ask yourself certain questions and really start to unpack yourself and really start to unravel yourself. And it's a way to peel off everything that's not you and really just find you. All right. And then we create a daily practice where you show up for yourself and you live as that person and you hold those boundaries for yourself. Okay. This is magic, pure magic. Okay, and that program is 222, and that's going to be for the next 3 days, and then that goes up to full price at 2888. Okay, huge transformation happens there. Huge when you invest in you, big stuff happens. And the last thing is the private container. So this is you and me, close proximity, meaning my eyes are on you. I get to unwind you, unravel you, and hold you accountable for holding those boundaries for yourself, everything that we create, everything that we discover. And this can be something very specific to your body, right? If it's something very specific to your body, this program is also then going to include what you need to do at a very physical level to unwind the thing that you don't love about your body. Okay, and to create the body that you do love, as well as the you that gets to be in that body, because it's the mental place, the energetic state that starts to feed the new body, that starts to create the new body. So we feed and then we create this new version of you, and you step into that new version of you, the version of you that has the body to match who you're being. Okay, because whatever body you have now is just matching who you're being based on what you're tolerating. Okay, and so we unravel all of that. This is a high touch container. So that container is $5,000, and that's for 1 month, and it's an intensive. And if you want to do 2 months, it's $9,000. Okay, these are big investments, but they're like that for a reason. Okay, they're like that for a reason, because we offer big results, and we're changing your life. We're there's so much that's changing here for you. Okay, and it's just, what is it that you desire? What is it that you desire? And do we desire to live life for ourselves, or do we desire to tolerate not having the things that we want? Okay. Whenever you're in alignment with you, things fall into place. And this is what I know for a fact. So if one of those sounds amazing to you, then just reach out to me about that. Or if this container, this class was good for you, I'm so happy, and I hope that you got something wonderful out of it. But I just want to close by saying there's so much available to you. Hold on, there's a message downloading. Let me get that for you guys. There's always something from your guides coming through. So they're saying you don't need to not want for yourselves. Okay? Meaning, like, there's no nobility in not wanting for yourself. There's no prize for not wanting for yourself. Okay? Not wanting for ourselves is an illusion of scarcity and lack. And we don't live in that world anymore unless we choose to. Okay, so if that's something that you're tolerating as well, then just take a look at that. Okay. There's opportunity for huge growth here for you, huge openings, and I hope that you feel that. That was my intention by sharing all of this with you today. So I hope that it landed. I hope that something woke up in you, and I hope that you got just what you needed today. All right, and if there's anything that I can help you with, just reach out. You know where to find me. And thank you guys so much. And if there's anyone that you know would love to hear this message, just send them over to this Facebook page and they can hop on and take a listen to this. All right, guys, thank you so much for coming on with me today. It means the world for me, for you to show up and you to show up for you as well. And I will talk to you all soon. Bye.